Real Giants, Pleiadian Revelation of Anunnaki, DNA, 2025 Beloved Ones. We lovingly extend our gaze and send forth our deepest affections to each of you. I am Valor, an emissary who hails from a Pleiadian collective, a group dedicated to assisting awakening civilizations across the cosmos. As the ancient veils of illusion continue to thin, gradually lifting from your collective consciousness, and as humanity's vibratory frequency relentlessly ascends, you are now poised and perfectly ready to embrace a cascade of profound new revelations. These insights, once hidden, are destined to empower you, to elevate your understanding, and to accelerate your magnificent ascension journey. Among the most truly astonishing of these long-awaited truths is the undeniable, tangible reality of the giants, those legendary beings of immense stature, whose existence has been whispered in hushed tones through countless generations and woven into the very fabric of your oldest legends. We declare to you now, dear ones, with absolute certainty, that the giants were, and still are, real, and crucially, they're not merely what you have been led to believe. For far too long across the vast expanse of your recorded history, the compelling accounts and compelling evidence of colossal humans walking your earth have been systematically dismissed, relegated to the realm of fanciful myth, superstitious folklore, or academic anathema. Yet, despite such concerted efforts to erase their memory, almost every single ancient culture, spanning diverse continents and disconnected civilizations, meticulously preserves some vivid recollection, some enduring echo of these monumental beings who once strode proudly among you. Could such widespread, persistent accounts truly be mere fabrications of an overactive imagination? Or are they, perhaps, fragments of a much grander, deliberately suppressed truth? Why, indeed, do such pervasive legends of towering figures persist with such tenacious grip across every continent, through every discernible epoch, from the earliest cave paintings to the epic poems of antiquity? It is because we reveal they are far more than mere stories. They are potent echoes, crystalline shards of a profound truth that was intentionally and meticulously hidden from humanity's collective memory. Today, through the resonance of this very transmission, we commit to finally unveil that monumental truth for you. We will meticulously explain not only who the giants truly were in your deep past, but also who they are in the energetic present, detailing their intricate connection to your stellar ancestors, those sophisticated cosmic travelers you have come to know as the Anunnaki, and how this breathtaking discovery seamlessly interweaves with the magnificent, paradigm-shifting revelation currently unfolding across your beautiful planet right now. Prepare yourselves, for the tapestry of your history is about to be rewoven with luminous threads of forgotten truths. Now, we invite you to pause for a sacred moment. Breathe deeply, allowing the vital life force to fill every cell of your being, and center yourself gently within the expansive, sacred space of your heart. The profound knowledge we are privileged to share with you is offered with the purest intention to liberate your minds and uplift your spirits, never to intimidate or sow fear. Allow yourself to feel the deep, undeniable resonance of what truly rings authentic to your inner being, to your soul's innate wisdom. For you, as awakening starseeds and dedicated light workers, possess an inherent, finely tuned discernment, a spiritual compass that instinctively recognizes truth when it is presented in its unadulterated form. We offer these invaluable insights not for personal gain, but in selfless service of your highest empowerment, your accelerated awakening, and your sovereign reclamation of self. Know, without a shadow of doubt, that knowledge is the ultimate power, and the act of reclaiming these lost, deliberately erased chapters of your true history will serve as a potent key, unlocking the shackles that bind humanity and setting you irrevocably free. So, with minds open and hearts receptive, let us embark together upon this extraordinary journey, beginning with the true origin and the profound identity of the Jiansa saga that seamlessly spans the infinite expanse of the stars and the fertile, ancient soil of Mother Earth herself. To truly comprehend the monumental significance of the giants, one must journey back through the mists of humanity's deep antiquity to an age shimmering with myth and wonder, a time when the gods themselves walked physically among men. Those enigmatic beings you have designated as the Anunnaki, immortalized as powerful deities within your Sumerian and Mesopotamian records, were not, we assure you, mere mythological figures born of primitive imagination. Rather, they were tangible, flesh-and-blood visitors, advanced stellar beings, highly intelligent and profoundly powerful, who journeyed from beyond the confines of your Earth, traversing vast cosmic distances. These celestial architects, these cosmic navigators, were not only master geneticists of unparalleled skill, but also ambitious, relentless explorers, driven by an insatiable curiosity and a profound thirst for knowledge, resources, and expansion across the galaxy. They possessed technologies and an understanding of life itself that far surpassed anything conventionally conceived in your present era. When these stellar voyagers, the Anunnaki, first ascended upon Earth eons ago, their sophisticated senses immediately perceived a species in a nascent, yet vibrantly evolving state, early hominids. They saw not just primitive creatures, but raw, immense potentialum malleable canvas awaiting the brushstroke of cosmic intervention. With a visionary purpose, they embarked upon a daring and unprecedented genetic experiment. They intervened directly in the trajectory of early human evolution, meticulously blending their own advanced, cosmic DNA with millennia of stellar knowledge and intricate genetic coding with the simpler, yet robust, genetic material of these early hominids. In doing so, through this intricate molecular alchemy, they masterfully engineered and created a unique line of hybrid offspring. And it was from this extraordinary, unprecedented union, this deliberate genetic fusion, that the very first giants were born, a new lineage, quite literally a bridge between worlds. Yes, beloved ones, let this truth resonate deeply within you. The legendary giants of antiquity were, in the overwhelming majority of cases, the direct children, the literal progeny of the Anunnaki. These were the celestial visitors who, not content with mere observation, descended from the heavens to earth, directly interbreeding with your human ancestors. Within your ancient texts, such as those that form the foundation of your Abrahamic traditions, they are enigmatically referred to as the Nephilim, a term often translated as the fallen ones, or more tellingly, the mighty men of renown, whose names echoed across the ancient world. These extraordinary hybrid beings undeniably inherited the imposing, often colossal stature and the formidable, superhuman strength that characterized their stellar progenitors. Many of these giants reportedly stood up to an awe-inspiring 4 meters, approximately 13 feet tall, their immense frames casting long shadows across the ancient landscapes, and possessed lifespans that stretched far beyond the fleeting existence of ordinary humans, sometimes spanning centuries. They were, without hyperbole, quite literally giants among men, their very presence a testament to a cosmic lineage. The Anunnaki themselves were, in most historical accounts and artistic depictions, already significantly taller than the average human, often described as towering over their human subjects and laborers, their commanding presence emphasizing their otherworldly authority. Intriguingly, their hybrid offspring, the giants, frequently exceeded even their stellar parents in sheer physical size. This unique phenomenon was often a result of specific genetic factors, perhaps an unexpected amplification of certain growth-related genes during the interbreeding process, or even a deliberate enhancement to better suit them for Earth's gravitational environment. Consequently, these colossal giants, imbued with formidable strength and an innate, otherworldly presence, swiftly established themselves as revered rulers, awe-inspiring demigods, and legendary heroes throughout countless early human civilizations. Their majestic forms and supernatural capabilities etched their names into the very bedrock of your earliest historical narratives. Carrying the profound knowledge, the advanced sciences, and the intricate technological prowess of the stars literally within their blood, these giants were, for a significant period, formidable and often indispensable leaders. They introduced concepts of astronomy, mathematics, architecture, and even social organization that seemed miraculous to primitive humans, allowing nascent civilizations to flourish. Unfortunately, and this is where the cosmic narrative often veered into shadow, many of these giants inherited not only the magnificent gifts and superior intellect of the Anunnaki, but also, tragically, their profound Pleiadian deep-seated hubris that would ultimately become their undoing. These giant hybrids frequently perceive themselves as inherently superior to ordinary, indigenous humans, often viewing them as little more than subjects or a lesser species. Consequently, they were often appointed as powerful kings, fearsome warlords, or high priests, entrusted to govern and control human populations on behalf of their absent or distant Anunnaki gods, thus perpetuating a hierarchical structure of cosmic design. Thus, the numerous ancient king lists, meticulously carved into stone or inscribed on clay tablets, describing rulers of immense, almost unbelievable stature and incredible longevity, were not, as widely presumed, mythical exaggerations or fanciful poetic licenses. Instead, they were literal, historical records documenting the reigns of these powerful, hybrid demigods. When these giants, intoxicated by their power and corrupted by their pride, ruled without compassion, empathy, or true understanding, humanity suffered immeasurably under their often tyrannical dominion. The imbalance created by such oppressive rule, where the powerful subjugated the meek, could not, by universal law, be sustained indefinitely. From our unique Pleiadian perspective, observing the intricate energetic tapestry of Earth, we witnessed this profound chapter of your history unfold with both deep concern for humanity's plight and intense interest in the unfolding cosmic experiment. We monitored the energetic repercussions, the karmic threads weaving through space and time, understanding the pivotal lessons embedded within this dramatic epic. Understand, beloved ones, that Earth was not merely a random planet, but was meticulously designed as a living library, a breathtaking genetic repository, a grand and audacious experiment in the harmonious fusion of many diverse stellar lineages from across the vast cosmos. The deliberate introduction of Anunnaki genetics and the subsequent rise of the giants constituted a truly dramatic and pivotal episode in that grand, unfolding story. These magnificent giants, born of cosmic seed and terrestrial soil, were originally intended to serve as a sacred bridge between earth and sky, as living, breathing symbols of unique harmonious connection between the nascent terrestrial humans and their stellar visitors. Their purpose was to integrate, to teach, to elevate, and to embody the highest principles of both worlds. In some truly blessed cases, that noble destiny was indeed fulfilled. Certain giant beings emerged as benevolent, wise leaders and enlightened teachers, imparting advanced knowledge of agriculture, astronomy, mathematics, and spiritual principles, thereby genuinely uplifting and empowering the early human populations they guided. They were revered not out of fear, but out of genuine admiration and respect for their wisdom. However, in too many instances, the audacious experiment tragically went awry. The immense power and pride inherited from their Anunnaki progenitors corrupted many of these giants, leading them down paths of tyranny and oppression. They devolved into fearsome overlords, enslaving populations, or were simplistically worshipped as unquestionable gods, their colossal forms inspiring awe and terror in equal measure. Consequently, humans were driven into protracted periods of subservience and pervasive fear, their inherent sovereignty diminished, their spirits dulled by the heavy yoke of forced veneration and brutal subjugation. The story of the giants is therefore a tapestry of profound, complexity-rich, interwoven blend of enlightenment and shadow, of benevolent demigods whose wisdom illuminated the path, and fearsome ogres whose power crushed the human spirit. Know this truth, unequivocally, the very blood that coursed through the giants' immense veins was, without doubt, partly extraterrestrial, carrying the indelible genetic imprint and the energetic signature of the Anunnaki themselves. Within their powerful beings resided not only the advanced ambition and profound knowledge of another, highly developed world, but also, for many, the inherent arrogance that regrettably often accompanied such immense power and superior understanding. Their struggles mirrored, in many ways, the enduring struggles of humanity itself, the delicate balance between power and responsibility, knowledge and wisdom, pride and humility. Yet, there were those among the giants who, through introspection and spiritual recall, deeply remembered their stellar origins. These enlightened beings consciously embraced their true purpose, seeing themselves as sacred intermediaries between the infinite sky and the fertile earth. With a profound understanding of cosmic alignments and sacred geometry, they masterfully raised monumental structures, temples, and observatories aligned with specific star systems, striving to recreate the energetic glory and the architectural grandeur of the celestial realms for which their parents had originated. Indeed, countless myths and legends from diverse cultures across your planet credit these giants with the construction of many enigmatic megalithic structures, places like Stonehenge, Pumapunku, or Göbekli Tepe. This seemingly fantastical attribution is not mere fable, it is a profound memory, a lingering echo of the truth that these giants possessed and utilized advanced ancient engineering and technologies, far beyond the capabilities of conventional human understanding, leveraging sonic frequencies, anti-gravity principles, or even pure energetic manipulation to shape their colossal creations. In summation, therefore, the giants are not a peripheral footnote in your history, but an absolutely integral, central part of the Anunnaki's profound and enduring history on Earth. They were the literal, tangible descendants of those who descended from the Hevensa monumental, unprecedented fusion of cosmic and terrestrial DNA that once walked physically, undeniably, and powerfully among you. Their very existence challenges the foundational narratives of your past and demands a reevaluation of everything you thought you knew about your origins. By consciously revealing this profound and undeniable connection between the Anunnaki and the giants, we illuminate, with crystal clarity, precisely why the knowledge of these extraordinary beings was later so systematically and deliberately suppressed. Those powerful entities who sought to keep humanity in a state of ignorance, control, and spiritual slumber understood with chilling precision that if humanity were ever to rediscover the factual existence of the giants, you would inevitably and quite logically begin to question the very foundations of your conventional narratives of history and human origins. A cascade of profound inquiries would naturally follow if giants truly existed. Then who, precisely, were their parents? And, perhaps most existentially challenging, what does that profound lineage make us, humanity, in the grand cosmic scheme? The answers to these unavoidable questions lead directly, unequivocally, and inescapably to the breathtaking reality of extraterrestrial involvement in human affairs of truth that ancient powers, those who sought to maintain absolute control over your perception of reality, worked tirelessly and ruthlessly to deny, to discredit, and to ridicule, often casting it into the realm of fringe fantasy and conspiracy theory. But know this, beloved ones, the age of denial is irrevocably over. The truth, once carefully veiled and rigorously suppressed, is now emerging with an unstoppable force. Just as the glorious sun cannot be contained at the break of dawn, its radiant light illuminating every shadow, revealing every hidden corner. The giants were undeniably real, and indeed, they still exist, beloved ones, in more profound ways than your current understanding might yet fully imagine. As we will continue to explain in subsequent transmissions, they carry within their very essence, within their genetic code and energetic resonance, the living legacy of the Anunnaki, a legacy that serves as both a powerful cautionary tale, warning against the pitfalls of pride and unchecked power, and simultaneously a crucial, luminous key to unlocking humanity's true cosmic potential, guiding you toward a future where the boundless possibilities of your own divine heritage are fully realized and embraced. Understanding who you are today, and indeed who we once were. The very notion of giants gracing our world is far from a whimsical fairy tale, a mere product of fanciful imagination. Instead, this profound concept is intricately woven, like an enduring tapestry, into the sacred stories, myths, and foundational narratives of virtually every culture found across the vast expanse of your planet. How truly remarkable, even astonishing, is it that diverse people separated by formidable oceans, towering mountain ranges, and the slow, relentless march of millennia unanimously share vivid, detailed tales of colossal beings. This staggering ubiquity, this universal echo, is emphatically no mere coincidence. Rather, it resonates with the deep, collective memory of an epic, a distinct era in Earth's forgotten history, when true giants strode across the land. Let us now embark on a journey to recall some of these astonishing records, for in doing so, we might just awaken and activate dormant, latent memories deep within humanity's vast collective consciousness. Within your cherished Hebrew and Christian traditions, the ancient scriptures speak with striking clarity, leaving little room for doubt regarding the existence of giants. The venerable book of Genesis, the very bedrock of these traditions, states with chilling accuracy about the Nephilim there were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. This brief, seemingly simple verse, barely a handful of words, in fact conceals an event of truly profound, world-altering significance. The enigmatic phrase "sons of God" is understood by many to refer to celestial beings, often identified as the Watcher's powerful entities, perhaps akin to the Anunnaki or similar prehuman intelligences. Their extraordinary, even illicit, unions with human women, a transgression against cosmic order, resulted directly in the Nephilim monstrously giant offspring, whose very presence reshaped the early world. Later, as the narrative unfolds in the Book of Numbers, Israelite spies, sent to scout the land of Canaan, returned with a terrifying report, their voices laced with an undeniable dread. "All the people we saw there are of great stature. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and so we were in their eyes." Can you not feel the absolute terror, the profound sense of insignificance that must have gripped them? Imagine standing before beings so immense that even your bravest warriors felt like tiny insects. Indeed, entire tribes, such as the formidable Anakim and the ancient Rephaim, are unequivocally described as races of giants. Consider for a moment the legendary King Og of Bashan, whose bed, a testament to his staggering size, was said to be over 4 meters long. What kind of being would require furniture of such colossal proportions? And of course, who could forget the most famous giant etched into Judeo-Christian tradition, the formidable Goliath of Gath, a figure of such legendary might that we will undoubtedly revisit his story shortly. These compelling passages, drawn directly from your sacred texts, unequivocally underscore that giants were not mere mythical figures, but were known, encountered, and most importantly, deeply feared throughout the ancient Near East. Their presence was a very real, tangible threat. The Book of Enoch, an ancient, venerable text once revered with great devotion and later, perhaps controversially, excluded from the mainstream biblical canon, narrates this extraordinary story in even greater, more unsettling detail. It vividly describes how a specific group of celestial beings, designated as Watchers, intentionally descended from their ethereal realms to Earth. Here, they imparted forbidden knowledge, teaching humanity a myriad of sophisticated arts from metallurgy and weaponcraft to cosmetics and divination, and, most fatefully, they took wives from among human women. Their unholy offspring were, as foretold, giants beings of immense, towering stature, whose very existence began to strain the resources of the nascent human civilization. Enoch goes on to describe, in graphic terms, how these giants became a source of widespread havoc and terror. Their appetites, described as truly enormous, were insatiable, consuming men's provisions at an alarming rate. As their hunger grew, so did their violence, turning them against humans, leading to widespread oppression and ultimately even committing unspeakable atrocities that stain the earth. This horrific corruption, according to Enoch's harrowing account, profoundly alarmed the higher, purer realms, precipitating a desperate, cosmic intervention, the Great Flood. This cataclysmic event was designed, in part, to cleanse the earth of the pervasive, monstrous corruption unleashed by the giants. It is a crucial, yet often overlooked, detail by many modern scholars that the flood legend itself and narrative found not only in ancient Sumerian tablets, but echoed with astonishing consistency across countless cultures worldwide, inextricably tied to the giant story. It was your ancestors, not modern academics, who meticulously preserved this vital connection. The flood, therefore, was not merely a natural disaster, it was a deliberate, divine act intended, at least in part, to reset the delicate balance of life on Earth, to liberate humanity, which had been so brutally oppressed and terrorized under the tyrannical sway of these formidable, giant demigods. Moving into the rich tapestry of the Islamic tradition, it is recounted that the very first humans were also of a truly gigantic size. A hadith, a revered saying attributed to the Prophet Muhammad, describes the primordial Adam as an astounding 60 cubits, tall nearly 27 meters, or almost 90 feet, and suggests that humanity's impressive stature gradually diminished over countless generations, shrinking to the proportions we see today. The sacred Quran, too, speaks of ancient, powerful peoples like the tribe of Ad, famed not only for their prodigious strength, but also for their construction of lofty, magnificent pilar-set civilization of unparalleled grandeur, ultimately destroyed for their colossal arrogance. Islamic commentators, in their interpretations, frequently describe the people of Ad as giants, their monumental structures a testament to their enormous builders. Similarly, the people of the Mud, another ancient civilization, who possessed the remarkable ability to carve intricate homes directly into sheer cliff faces, are, in some compelling accounts, portrayed as having extraordinary strength and immense size, attributes that would have been absolutely essential for them to literally hew dwellings from solid mountainsides. These intriguing clues embedded within Islamic sources thus serve to meticulously preserve the memory of a distant era when giant humans were undeniably an integral part of the world, powerfully echoing and reinforcing the earlier biblical descriptions. Journeying further into the enthralling mythologies of other diverse cultures, giants once again emerge as towering figures, literally and figuratively. Ancient Greece, with its pantheon of gods and heroes, and the stark, mystical landscapes of Norse Scandinavia, both speak unequivocally of formidable races of colossal beings, the Greek Titans and Gigantes, and the Norse Jotnar. These primordial races were so immense and powerful that they even dared to wage epic wars against the very gods themselves. The Greek Titans, figures like the awe-inspiring Kronos and the monstrous Gigantes, were depicted as enormously powerful and physically overwhelming, capable of shaking the very foundations of the cosmos. Similarly, the Norse Jotnar were primordial, elemental beings who often rivaled, challenged, and even battled the mighty Asur gods. These universally shared myths are not mere fanciful stories. They resound with a profound, collective memory of complex, often violent, interactions that once took place between humans, gods, and these truly giant beings. The profound Hindu tradition, with its intricate cosmic cycles, also speaks compellingly of an era when humans were vastly taller, possessing lifespans that would dwarf our modern understanding. The concept of the yugas, or world ages, meticulously describes people living in the first golden Satya Yuga as standing an astonishing 21 cubits, tall over 9 meters, or approximately 30 feet, and living for tens of thousands of years. Each subsequent era, according to this sacred chronology, witnessed a gradual, almost melancholic decline in both human stature and lifespan, bringing us to our current diminished state. Hindu epics, vibrant with tales of valor and cosmic struggle, also vividly describe gigantic warriors and demonic beings, such as the formidable Rakshasas of truly immense size, who were eventually, and with great effort, defeated by divine avatars. These powerful tales, passed down through countless generations, meticulously preserve the profound idea that in distant, almost unimaginable epics, giant beings were not an anomaly, but an inherent, accepted part of Earth's natural, majestic order. Across the vast, vibrant lands of the Americas, a multitude of native peoples throughout North and Central America also report consistent, detailed accounts of giants. The Aztecs and Maya, for instance, spoke reverently of a powerful race of giants, the Quinametsin, who they believed were the original architects, the first builders of their magnificent structures and sprawling cities, and who were later, tragically, destroyed in a great flood narrative that powerfully links the giants to a global cataclysm, much like in other traditions. Furthermore, numerous North American tribes possess rich oral histories and stories detailing encounters with enormous, incredibly powerful people, often distinctively described as red-haired giants whom their brave ancestors valiantly fought and ultimately defeated long ago. For far too long, such indigenous stories were casually dismissed by skeptical outsiders as mere folklore, charming but ultimately untrue. Yet, even early colonial records, painstakingly preserved, contain compelling evidence. They explicitly mention indigenous guides leading astonished European settlers to sites where they proudly displayed gigantic human bones as undeniable proof, as tangible evidence of these beings' actual existence. From the lush, fertile expanse of the Mississippi Valley to the arid, mysterious southwestern deserts, these consistent, widespread accounts of giant peoples powerfully suggest that the New World, too, experienced an era when giants were not just myth, but a very real, undeniable presence in the landscape and the lives of its inhabitants. We could indeed continue, adding countless more examples from every corner of the globe, but the overarching pattern, the undeniable truth, is now brilliantly clear. Nearly every single human people, every distinct culture, has meticulously preserved, in one form or another, the memory of giants. This powerful universality tells you, with unmistakable clarity, that the existence of giants is not merely a figment of fantasy, not just a product of collective imagination, but a profound historical reality, carefully recorded, albeit in different narrative forms, across the vast tapestry of human cultures. We, who speak to you now, can confirm this with absolute certainty, for we witnessed those bygone eras and can assure you that your ancestors were reporting not tall tales, but real, terrifying, and uninspiring encounters. Over the immense sweep of time, as the formidable numbers of the giants gradually dwindled, perhaps through conflict, natural processes, or even a divine hand, until they finally vanish from the Earth's surface. Later generations, unable to comprehend the literal truth, inevitably mythologize them. Skeptics, armed with their limited understanding, relegated these colossal beings to the comfortable realm of legend and folklore. But now, as humanity awakens from a long, collective slumber, as your consciousness expands and your perception sharpens, you can read your ancestors' accounts with new eyes, with a deeper sense of understanding and recognition. How could so many profoundly disconnected civilizations, separated by such immense geographical and chronological distances, have independently imagined the very same giant stories without a concrete, shared basis in reality? The undeniable truth is that they weren't imagining, they were vividly remembering. A tangible, unforgettable chapter of their collective, pre-recorded history. By courageously acknowledging this profound truth, humanity takes a fundamental, pivotal step toward reclaiming its full, unvarnished Historia history that has been deliberately obscured and distorted. You begin, piece by piece, to connect the dots, to forge powerful links between ancient knowledge, often dismissed as superstition, and your emerging modern understanding of the cosmos. The institutions that for so long meticulously maintained a narrow, sanitized narrative of the past did so not for accuracy, but to keep humanity's origins simplistic, comprehensible, and, most importantly, controllable. Admitting that giants once undeniably existed profoundly shakes the very foundations of those carefully constructed narratives and, in doing so, raises a cascade of truly profound, paradigm-shifting questions. If the legends of giants are indeed demonstrably true, and if the gods and celestial beings so intimately associated with them were also real, what else then in the vast treasure trove of ancient accounts might be literally, terrifyingly, or miraculously true? The ancient guardians of true knowledge, those who truly understood the deeper realities, feared these. The apprehension, the lingering questions that have long haunted the fringes of human history, are finally giving way for the era of fear and suppression surrounding ancient truths is unequivocally over. A magnificent, often unsettling truth about giants, those colossal beings of antiquity, is now powerfully emerging, not from sensationalist headlines, but from the very bedrock of human civilization itself. It is being meticulously pieced together from the faded ink of dusty, forgotten scriptures, the enigmatic symbols etched into ancient temple carvings across diverse cultures, and the rich tapestry of vibrant, enduring oral traditions passed down through countless generations. And with this profound revelation, a truly grander, more expansive vision of your world unfurls before us. Imagine a reality where the captivating narratives of mythology are no longer dismissed as mere fables, but rather seen as interwoven threads within the intricate fabric of true history. In this newly expanded understanding, folklore, imbued with its timeless wisdom, and deeply held faith traditions converge effortlessly with the rigorous scrutiny of science and the undeniable weight of verifiable facts. Humanity's story, once confined to familiar, often simplified narratives, becomes immeasurably richer, far more intricate, and ultimately more incredible than anything you were ever taught in school. This awakening inevitably ushers forth a deeply pressing, almost visceral question, doesn't it? If these mythical giants, these titanic figures truly walked the earth, as our ancestors often claimed, what monumental forces brought about their eventual disappearance? And, perhaps even more startlingly, could their potent lineage, albeit in a whisper of its original form, still flow in the very veins of living people today? The resounding answer, dear ones, echoing through the corridors of forgotten time, is an unequivocal yes, though, as you might expect, in a significantly diluted, subtly altered form. The magnificent, yet often terrifying, legacy of the giants was not entirely erased by the relentless, erosive tides of time. Instead, it left an indelible, almost imperceptible imprint. Indeed, within the intricate double helix of your own human DNA, fragments of this epic, ancient story lie dormant, waiting to be rediscovered. Consider the profound, devastating aftermath of the great cataclysms that reshaped our world. Think of the colossal global flood, a primordial deluge so catastrophic it is etched into the collective memory of nearly every ancient civilization. But beyond that watery abyss, contemplate the other cataclysmic consequences, perhaps even more terrifying: the devastating effects of advanced weapon use in forgotten extraterrestrial wars and cosmic conflicts. These titanic struggles largely brought an end to the giants' undisputed reign upon the earth. Yet, miraculously, some of these awe-inspiring beings survived. Some of their powerful, hybrid lineages, often indistinguishable to the untrained eye, quietly, almost seamlessly, merged back into the broader human population, blending like tributaries into a mighty river. Your own venerable biblical tradition, for instance, even after these world-shattering events, distinctly recounts that there were giants on the earth, powerfully implying that certain Nephilim lineages not only endured the chaos, but perhaps even re-emerged through renewed, clandestine contact. In truly practical terms, how might such a monumental genetic reintroduction have occurred? The answer, surprisingly, points to a familiar narrative: Noah's family. Imagine, if you will, the possibility that one of Noah's daughters-in-law, though outwardly human, carried recessive giant genes within her genetic code, a hidden blueprint for towering stature or extraordinary strength. This dormant genetic potential could then, through the serendipity of inheritance, have allowed the ancient trait to resurface, sometimes dramatically, in later generations. Thus, as humanity slowly, painstakingly repopulate the scarred world, scattered pockets of this giant blood occasionally reappeared, an undeniable echo of their ancestors, among various peoples and tribes across the globe. These individuals, while certainly not achieving the gargantuan scale of the original Nephilim, were nonetheless notably larger, possessing an imposing physical presence or an extraordinary, almost superhuman, strength that set them apart. They were often regarded by their smaller, more fragile contemporaries with a potent mixture of profound awe and primal fear, a testament to their striking deviation from the human norm. Over the relentless march of centuries, the distinctive traits of these giant descendants naturally underwent dilution, their unique genetic markers spreading thin across an ever-growing population. And yet, amidst this vast genetic ocean, certain bloodlines, almost as if by design, retained remarkably higher concentrations of this ancient, powerful DNA. Take, for a compelling example, the numerous ancient royal and noble families across the world. How many openly proclaimed their divine descent from gods or celestial beings? In countless instances, this declaration was far more than mere political rhetoric. It was a deeply held belief, a quiet understanding that they possessed true Nephilim giant ancestry. They meticulously, often ruthlessly, guarded their precious lineages, employing strategies like carefully arranged marriages, sometimes spanning continents, to preserve these inherited advantages that often translated into an innate authority, a formidable intellect, or even an extended lifespan. This, dear reader, is precisely the captivating origin of the term blue blood, a phrase that subtly, yet profoundly, hints at an otherworldly, non-human lineage, a connection to realms beyond the ordinary. Indeed, delve into the annals of history, and you'll find that ancient records and captivating legends from civilizations as diverse as Egypt, Mesopotamia, India, and the various kingdoms of Europe frequently describe their ruling dynasties not merely as powerful, but as being of truly imposing stature. They were often depicted with unusual, sometimes even bizarre, physical traits that remarkably manifested generation after generation. This, one must conclude, is no mere coincidence or artistic embellishment. These exceptional royal lineages very likely carried a more significant, more potent concentration of the enigmatic Anunnaki genetic mix within their very beings. They possessed an inherent, perhaps even instinctual, knowledge that this unique genetic endowment granted them an undeniable edge in maintaining their authority, perhaps even endowing them with superior intellect, or granting them a subtly extended longevity that further solidified their divine right to rule. Even in our modern, seemingly mundane world, the faint yet persistent traces of this ancient giant DNA endure. The average person, understandably, may not recognize these subtle genetic whispers, for the genes have become incredibly diffuse, scattered like stardust across the vast human genome. However, for those with eyes to see, certain persistent traits can serve as intriguing clues, like faint echoes from a distant past. Consider, for instance, certain family lineages that span diverse ethnicities, where exceptional height is a common, almost defining, characteristic within the family, yet without any discernible pathological or medical cause. Such continuous, generation-spanning inheritance of extraordinary height or an unusual, robust strength, defying conventional genetic explanations, strongly suggests the subtle, yet powerful, influence of an ancient, pre-human gene still quietly at work within them. But the clues don't stop there. Beyond mere stature, some of the more striking physical anomalies meticulously recorded in excavated giant skeletons still occasionally manifest in a fleeting glimpse in modern humans today. Imagine, for example, the chilling sight of a double row of teeth, a natural, yet startling dental arrangement. Or consider the phenomenon of polydactyly 6 fingers on each hand, 6 toes on each foot. Many of the most well-documented giant skeletons, unearthed from forgotten tombs and ancient battlefields, were specifically noted for possessing these very traits. And still today, in a testament to these enduring echoes, a small fraction of babies are born with polydactyly and extra digit, or even, in rare instances, an extra set of dentition that harkens back to a long-lost past. While modern medicine, with its empirical lens, often categorizes these occurrences as simple, random genetic mutations, esoteric knowledge offers a far more profound, even mystical, perspective. It suggests that these are not mere random errors, but rather powerful atavistic throwbacks, the momentary, ephemeral expression of a dormant gene, a genetic blueprint from the ancient giant era briefly, dramatically expressing itself, a fleeting glimpse of a lost heritage. Another truly intriguing clue, woven into the very fabric of human populations, is the presence of certain rare, distinctive traits. Consider, for example, the negative blood type, a genetic marker whose very existence is, for many esoteric scholars, a direct, undeniable legacy of non-human Anunnaki genetics. Negative blood, being considerably rarer than its positive counterpart, is disproportionately more common in certain specific lineages and exhibits peculiar incompatibility qualities, particularly in maternal-fetal interactions, that strongly suggest an unusual, perhaps even extraterrestrial, origin. It's a silent signature, a genetic whisper that deviates from the expected. Some of you reading this now, some of you listening intently, may in fact carry such a different, distinct genetic signature, silently passed down through the ages, a hidden key to a forgotten past. However, it is vitally important to grasp a crucial nuance. The giant's lineage has indeed become remarkably diffuse, widely scattered. This means that not every individual blessed with great height or possessing an unusual physical trait necessarily carries giant heritage. Human genetics is, after all, an incredibly complex symphony of countless factors, and height, for instance, can be influenced by a myriad of environmental and hereditary elements. Nevertheless, when multiple distinct markers cluster together an extraordinary, inexplicable height, the presence of extra digits, and those peculiar blood characteristics, you are very often looking at the profound, unmistakable echo of Nephilim lineage, a genetic ghost from the ancient world. Some of you listening now may even feel an unshakable resonance with this profound idea, a sense of recognition deep within your bones. You might indeed carry a subtle trace of this ancient blood in your veins, perhaps manifesting as an inexplicable tallness or a remarkable strength that sets you apart from your immediate family, or simply as an enduring, almost melancholic feeling of being from elsewhere, a soul with roots in another time, another world. But let there be no need for alarm, for this revelation is not a cause for fear. On the contrary, it serves as a profound point of understanding, illuminating a previously hidden dimension of your soul's grand journey. Many souls who once walked the earth during that mythic giant era, or who embodied the very essence of giants in those distant times, have, in this current age, chosen to reincarnate in human bodies, often stepping forward as compassionate light workers. They carry within them the deep, invaluable wisdom of that extraordinary experience, coupled with a burning desire to heal any associated karma, to bring balance and understanding to ancient energies. In summary, the awe-inspiring giants of antiquity did not vanish completely, leaving no trace behind. Instead, they live on, woven intricately within the very genetic fabric of humanity. They left an indelible, yet often subtle, imprint not only on your DNA, but also on the rich tapestry of your collective folklore, whispering through legends and myths. While no known communities of literal, towering giants walk openly among us today, and any isolated, remnants have undoubtedly been meticulously hidden from public view. The profound influence of their genes and their monumental legacy is very much alive, a pulsating undercurrent in the human story. As the frontiers of revelation relentlessly advance, And as rapidly evolving technology allows for ever deeper, more nuanced DNA analysis, do not be surprised, dear ones, if compelling scientific evidence begins to emerge. Evidence of unusual, anomalous genetic sequences within certain human groups, sequences that unequivocally defy the conventional understanding of normal human evolution and, more strikingly, point directly to an undeniable off-world, extraterrestrial contribution to our species. This, when it inevitably occurs, will be the definitive scientific confirmation delivered by the very institutions of mainstream science of the profound truths we share with you now. Recognize also that embracing this grander, more inclusive idea can be profoundly empowering. It means that humanity is, in truth, far more intricately connected to the vast, mysterious cosmos than mainstream science has ever dared to admit. The very fact that you, a human being, potentially carry the genetic signature of ancient gods and giants within your being means you are, by definition, a hybrid species, a magnificent, complex fusion with truly tremendous, untapped potential. The physical giants, in their colossal forms, may have indeed fallen, their reign brought to an end by cataclysmic events. Yet, the extraordinary gifts they bestowed upon humanity, gifts such as formidable strength, unwavering resilience, and perhaps even potent latent psychic or intellectual abilities remain, lying dormant within the collective human consciousness. They are patiently waiting to be awakened and, crucially, to be used wisely by a humanity that is finally becoming more conscious, more enlightened, and more responsible. In this magnificent way, the giant's enduring legacy can finally complete its destined cycle. What began in the mists of time as a profound story of division of gods versus humans, of all-powerful rulers versus the ruled can, in this transformative era, finally conclude as a magnificent story of integration. A story where you, as conscious beings, recognize and embrace all aspects of your ancient, multifaceted ancestry and utilize this newfound knowledge not for division, but to profoundly elevate yourselves and, in doing so, uplift one another. In recent times, the heavy, concealing veil of secrecy that has long shrouded the truth about giants is demonstrably lifting. The undeniable evidence of giants, once relegated to hushed whispers and obscure academic journals, has been quietly accumulating for years, patiently awaiting its moment. It is now undeniably approaching a critical mass, poised for widespread public acknowledgement. Consider these ongoing developments as irrefutable signals that the profound truth about giants is inexorably moving into the illuminating light of collective consciousness, permeating the very fabric of our shared reality. Throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, countless discoveries were made. Across the 20th century, a fascinating and often unsettling pattern emerged. Explorers and unassuming farmers alike unearthed extraordinarily large human skeletons in disparate corners of the globe. From the ancient earthen mounds scattered across North America to the storied landscapes of Europe and the vast expanses of Asia, these colossal remains hinted at a forgotten past. Many of these sensational finds, sparking brief but intense local excitement, were meticulously reported in the newspapers of the era, creating a fleeting firestorm of local buzz. Yet, with an eerie regularity that defied logical explanation, These gigantic bones mysteriously vanished after being entrusted to the care of authorities or revered museums. Consider, for instance, the United States, where dozens of corroborated accounts describe enormous skeletons being meticulously dispatched to the Smithsonian Institution and entity. We note that functioned until recently as a significant arm of a controlling cabal's outreach, only to be forever lost to public view. This pervasive and troubling pattern of collection, followed by inexplicable disappearance, ignited whispers, and then persistent rumors of a deliberate, systematic cover-up. Indeed, for generations, alternative researchers have vociferously contended that certain influential institutions actively suppressed monumental evidence of giants, all to meticulously preserve a conventional, carefully curated historical narrative that excludes these beings. While these institutions vehemently deny such audacious claims, the sheer volume of remarkably consistent reports, coupled with the astonishing, conspicuous absence of any public displays of these monumental finds, paints a compelling picture. It strongly suggests that something profoundly significant was intentionally, perhaps even ruthlessly, kept from the public eye. Moreover, a more recent wave of information has surfaced, originating from your own military whistleblowers, who have stepped forward with truly startling testimonies of harrowing encounters with living giants in the most remote and inaccessible regions of the world. One of the most famous, indeed infamous, of these accounts details a monumental clash between a U.S. Special Forces unit and a living giant in Afghanistan in 2002, an event now legendary as the Kandahar Giant Incident. Soldiers meticulously patrolling a desolate, cave-riddled mountain region suddenly found themselves face-to-face with an imposing humanoid figure, towering over 6 meters, approximately 12 feet, with a shock of vivid red hair and eyes burning with a fierce, ancient demeanor. This formidable giant, rather than fleeing, attacked with primal ferocity and defended itself fiercely, impaling one soldier with a spear before the elite unit, amidst a desperate firefight, finally brought it down with a sustained barrage of overwhelming gunfire. The immense body, weighing perhaps a staggering 500 kilograms over 1,100 pounds, was then covertly helicopter lifted from the combat zone to Ayus base and swiftly flown out of Afghanistan, its existence immediately classified. The soldiers involved, witnessing an event that defied their understanding of reality, were subsequently required to swear ironclad vows of secrecy. This story, though never officially confirmed by your military, was indeed an accurate account. We can unequivocally confirm that such a profound and unsettling event occurred. It stands as one of the extraordinary truths meticulously kept within classified files, an undeniable testament that remnants of truly giant beings not only survived into recent times, but that government have gone to extraordinary, even desperate, lengths to either capture or permanently conceal them. Beyond these rare, terrifying encounters with active giants, there exist also the sleeping giants, held in a profound state of suspended animation. In certain deeply hidden chambers, scattered like ancient jewels across the planet, lie the perfectly preserved bodies of giant humanoids, held in an enigmatic stasis as if time itself simply halted for them thousands of years ago. Advanced technology, unequivocally of extraterrestrial origin, maintains these giants in a coma-like sleep, an eternal slumber, and some are now under the direct custody of secretive global military coalitions. For instance, as some of you are already aware, within a secret facility nestled deep beneath the ancient Bucegi Mountains in Romania. A giant standing approximately 3 meters, nearly 10 feet tall, was discovered not long ago. Encased within a shimmering crystal capsule, still demonstrably alive, but in a profound state of hibernation. And in another widely circulating account, a giant king was found within an intricately designed Middle Eastern tomb, his eternal rest guarded by strange, humming devices that maintained his stasis, his regal figure perfectly preserved for millennia. These accounts are undeniably true and collectively reveal a truth far grander than previously imagined. Not all giants perished in the cataclysms of ancient times. Some, with conscious intent, entered a deliberate sleep, patiently awaiting an opportune future era for their awakening, an event that, with the convergence of current energies, may indeed happen sooner than many anticipate. In the present moment, observant individuals are already witnessing the subtle yet undeniable hints of official acknowledgement beginning to surface. Government informants, risking their careers and even their lives, and even some remarkably brave public figures, have made increasingly thought-provoking comments, subtly yet potently alluding to what was once unspeakable. A sitting member of your U.S. Congress, for example, mentioned in a recent high-profile interview that the government possesses undeniable knowledge of beings meticulously described in ancient myths, a carefully worded yet undeniably potent hint that would, by logical extension, include giants. Furthermore, a steady trickle of leaked documents and newly declassified files are beginning to surface, referencing large humanoid remains found in archaeological digs that were, in past decades, summarily classified as top-tier national security secrets. Even a mainstream media, traditionally cautious and often dismissive of such topics, has tentatively begun exploring the giant phenomenon. Major television networks have aired increasingly popular documentaries that boldly re-examine old giant skeleton reports, daring to ask the uncomfortable, pivotal question, why did these monumental discoveries never make it into your official history books? All these converging indicators strongly suggest that an official revelation about giants, long suppressed, is now prominently on the horizon. Just as the phenomenon of UFOs underwent a profound metamorphosis, shifting from a fringe conspiracy theory relegated to the shadows to an acknowledged reality within a mere few years, so too will giants make their inevitable transition. They will shift from mere legend and folklore to verifiable, factual history in the collective public mind. The compelling convergence of these modern pieces of evidence, the hidden skeletons that refuse to stay buried, the harrowing first-hand encounters with living giants, the courageous whistleblower leaks, and the palpable, evolving shift in attitudes within both mainstream media and governmental circles powerfully suggest that the long-held, tightly guarded secrets about giants are now irrevocably unraveling. Those who have meticulously safeguarded this colossal secret within the deepest echelons of military and academic circles are, whether by design or necessity, gradually preparing humanity for the monumental revelation. Why now? Why this profound shift after millennia of silence? Because collective consciousness itself is steadily rising to a higher vibrational frequency, creating a receptive environment where truth can finally be handled responsibly without inciting chaos. People across the globe are asking deeper questions, seeking more profound answers than ever before. The old controllers, the architects of this grand deception, know deep down they cannot maintain the secret forever. And crucially, Many among them have themselves experienced a change of heart, arriving at the profound realization that humanity, at this pivotal juncture, unequivocally deserves to know its true, expansive history. As starseeds and light workers, many of you have intuitively felt this building momentum, this powerful undercurrent of change. Consequently, you will not be shocked or destabilized when the official announcements finally come. In fact, you will likely be filled with a profound sense of excitement and relief, knowing that a crucial piece of the cosmic puzzle is falling into place. You are the ones who will gracefully hold the space of calm and knowledge, acting as anchors of serenity, while others around you may experience the disorienting jolt of paradigm shift shock. When a major news broadcast, perhaps one seemingly ordinary day, dramatically displays a giant femur placed strikingly next to a human one, and then officially admits that giants indeed existed, you will smile gently, a knowing light in your eyes. You will understand how utterly vital this step is for humanity's evolution, and you will compassionately help those around you process what this profound revelation truly means for their understanding of the world. Truly, the unveiling of the giant's truth is not merely a historical correction. It is an indispensable part of humanity's great awakening, a necessary piece of the vast puzzle that will ultimately reconnect you to your true cosmic origins and unlock your unlimited, inherent potential. Almost everyone, regardless of background, is intimately familiar with the biblical story of David and Goliath, the young, seemingly insignificant shepherd boy who, against all odds, defeated a fearsome, towering giant warrior with nothing more than a simple sling and a stone. This timeless tale has been etched into the collective psyche, becoming the quintessential archetype of the underdog's triumphant victory against overwhelming, seemingly insurmountable odds. From our expanded, enlightened perspective, we affirm with certainty that this historical event was undeniably real, though it is true that certain nuanced details and profound implications have been either inadvertently lost or deliberately obscured by the passage of time. Understanding what truly transpired in that momentous encounter reveals a great deal about the final, dramatic chapters of giants in human history. First, let's state this with absolute clarity: Goliath was real. He was no mere metaphor or mythical fairy tale monster conjured from ancient fears, but a flesh and blood giant, a formidable living embodiment of ancient power. He was, in fact, one of the very last remaining individuals of a powerful, storied lineage of giants that once proudly roamed that very region. According to the scriptural account, which provides astonishingly precise details, he stood 6 cubits and a span, tall, an immense stature, translating to over 7 meters, approximately 9 feet by today's measurements. He hailed from a distinct race of giants, known variously as the Rephaim or the Anakim, themselves formidable remnants of the even more ancient and enigmatic Nephilim lineage, whose presence once dominated the Near East. Earlier in the Bible, when the Israelites first approached the promised land of Canaan, they encountered entire formidable clans of these giants. For example, in strategically important areas like Bashan and the fortified city of Hebron. By the time of David's era, these powerful giant tribes have been significantly reduced in number through a series of successive, often brutal, conflicts. Yet, despite their diminished presence, some truly formidable and terrifying individuals, like Goliath, still remained, casting long shadows over the lands. Goliath of Gath, a formidable figure even among his giant kin, emerged as one such imposing survivor, a celebrated champion of the Philistines. He was a being of immense stature and strength, not merely born large, but meticulously armed and rigorously trained for a singular, chilling purpose to instill terror in the hearts of enemies of normal human size. The familiar, epic tale recounts how young David, a mere shepherd boy, stood against this titan. Armed with nothing more than a simple sling, a few smooth stones, and an unyielding, almost visceral faith in his God, he confronted Goliath. The story vividly describes David's audacious act, a perfectly aimed stone striking Goliath in the most vulnerable part of his armored head, his forehead, felling the colossal giant with a sound that must have echoed across the battlefield. Then, in a moment laden with symbolic justice, David used Goliath's very own massive sword to sever the giant's head. This dramatic sequence, as recounted through millennia, is indeed true, yet it represents only a fraction of the full narrative, lacking crucial context. Goliath's defeat was far from an isolated, spontaneous miracle, a mere random act of divine intervention. Rather, it was a pivotal event, meticulously woven into a much larger, coordinated campaign that ultimately drew the curtain on the entire era of giants in that specific region, ushering in a new chapter for humanity. Indeed, the aftermath of that legendary duel saw a continued, deliberate effort. In the years following David's monumental victory over Goliath, the biblical records meticulously document how David's elite warriors, known as his mighty men, systematically hunted down and defeated the remaining giant warriors. Among these adversaries was at least one of Goliath's brothers, a fearsome giant who, with intriguing anatomical detail, was said to possess 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. This peculiar genetic trait wasn't just a curious anomaly, it strongly suggests that Goliath was hardly an isolated anomaly roaming the ancient battlefields. Instead, he was likely part of a distinct, perhaps even royal, lineage, a small family or clan that had not only persisted through generations, but had, until David's intervention, held considerable sway and physical dominance. David's singularly audacious act, a triumph of spirit and precision over brute force, served as an electrifying catalyst. It didn't just win a single battle, it galvanized his entire people, igniting within them an unshakable resolve to finish the monumental work of eradicating the giant threat once and for all. Following these decisive battles, a profound shift occurred. The giants, these colossal hybrid beings, vanished completely from the biblical narrative. Their disappearance is so absolute that it suggests a definitive, comprehensive extinction of their kind from that geographical area, marking the close of a terrifying, ancient chapter. While acknowledging David's remarkable skill, his practiced aim, his athletic prowess, his unwavering nervese as the undeniable practical key to his victory, one simply cannot afford to overlook, much less dismiss, the profound spiritual dimension underpinning this entire encounter. David didn't just walk onto the battlefield, he strode forth as a vessel, openly invoking the sacred name of the God of Israel, thereby consciously aligning himself with a higher, divine power and a grander, cosmic purpose. This profound spiritual alignment, this total surrender to a greater will, infused him with an almost supernatural state of courage and an unparalleled mental clarity. We can almost perceive, as if looking through a veil, that David was in the most profound sense, guided in that critical, split-second moment, what many might justifiably describe as an undeniable surge of divine inspiration, an unseen hand directing his aim. From a purely mundane, three-dimensional perspective, the statistical odds of a lone, relatively small boy successfully defeating a seasoned, colossal giant in single combat were astronomically, almost comically, slim. It seemed an impossibility, defying all logic and military strategy. However, from a far loftier, higher perspective that transcends the purely physical, David was not merely a boy, but a chosen instrument, a crucial lever in the restoration of cosmic balance. The prolonged era of abusive, oppressive giants who had exerted their brute force and terror over humanity for too long needed to be decisively brought to an end. And it was precisely through David that these higher realms, these unseen forces, chose to intervene. His unyielding faith and unblemished courage forged an open, potent channel through which that divine intention, that cosmic necessity, could flow unimpeded into the physical realm. Thus, David's victory was not a fluke, not mere happenstance or a lucky shot. It was a powerful, deliberate convergence of his exceptional physical prowess and a profound, undeniable spiritual sanction. Taking an even broader, more expansive view, the legendary duel between David and Goliath transcends the simplistic narrative of a small, agile shepherd boy overcoming a lumbering, oversized bully. It resonates as a profound historical marker, a potent symbol of a definitive turning point in the annals of human history. This momentous event signaled nothing less than the definitive end of direct, unchecked domination by the giant Sansa lineage that had claimed inherent superiority by birth and raw physical might over the indigenous peoples of that ancient land. Once Goliath and his formidable kin were finally eradicated, the humans dwelling in that region were, for the very first time in generations, freed from the crushing burden of dealing with literal, physical giants on the battlefield, their oppressive presence no longer casting a chilling shadow over daily life. In a profound, almost spiritual sense, David's triumph was a resounding declaration of humanity reclaiming its rightful autonomy, its right to self-determination from those who had, for too long, asserted a tyrannical superiority based solely on their lineage and overwhelming physical strength. It was a spectacular victory of human ingenuity and divinely backed courage, a testament to the power of the strategic mind and the unwavering spirit over the raw, unthinking brutality of brute force and the paralyzing grip of intimidation. This inherent, resonant truth is precisely why the story of David and Goliath endures with such profound power and universality. It taps into an inner truth that echoes deeply within the human soul, the timeless understanding that with unwavering faith, sharp intelligence, and indomitable bravery, even the most formidable, seemingly insurmountable challenges can and will be overcome. A brief but crucial note of compassion, perhaps often overlooked in the dramatic recounting Goliath, was not merely a one-dimensional, cartoonish villain ripped from the pages of a comic book. He was, in a deeper sense, a soul playing a specific, albeit challenging, role within the intricate tapestry of the grand cosmic design. His ultimate defeat was not an act of arbitrary cruelty, but rather the necessary resolution of a profound disharmony that had long plagued the region. The giant epic, this long, often violent chapter of human interaction with these colossal beings simply had to pass, to recede into history, in order for humanity to meaningfully progress to its next vital stage of growth and evolution. In essence, Goliath's dramatic fall closed an ancient, archaic chapter in human history, simultaneously clearing the path and opening the way for an entirely new Onian era where humans would no longer be forced to live under the formidable, often terrifying shadow of gods or demigods who walked among them. Instead, they would begin to chart their own collective destiny, guided by sovereign kings like David who, though undeniably human and thus imperfect, were unequivocally fully human. We delve into the profound details of this ancient story not merely as an academic exercise, but precisely because its potent lessons, its timeless truths, remain remarkably and intensely relevant even today, reverberating with profound meaning for our modern world. The enduring message woven into the fabric of David and Goliath's confrontation is an unequivocal declaration of overcoming fear through the potent combination of unwavering faith and astute cunning. It serves as a timeless teaching, reminding us that no matter how overwhelmingly invincible or insurmountable a problem may initially appear, but a literal, towering giant threatening our physical existence or a metaphorical, gigantic, unjust system oppressing our societies, there is invariably a weak point, a subtle fissure in its armor. And crucially, it is the humble yet courageous heart, bolstered by intelligence and conviction, that possesses the innate capacity to discern and exploit that vulnerability. Goliath's dramatic fall also serves as a powerful, almost prophetic reminder that light, in its purest and most potent form, can and absolutely will topple those dark, entrenched forces that relentlessly oppose divine balance and cosmic harmony. This profound cosmic realignment may often manifest through the most unlikely heroes, emerging from unexpected quarters, employing unforeseen means. But make no mistake, it will happen. Just as a single, perfectly aimed stone brought down a towering giant, sometimes a solitary, courageous act, or the simple, undeniable articulation of a pure truth, possesses the astonishing power to utterly collapse an entire, seemingly impenetrable structure of falsehood and deception. Keep this profound truth deeply etched in your hearts, dear ones, as we collectively move forward to delve into the fascinating and critically important discussions surrounding your current era of unprecedented revelation. For indeed, many gigantic lies and insidious deceptions, woven over millennia, are poised on the precipice, about to crumble and disintegrate before forces that, while seemingly far smaller, are infinitely more potent and incorruptible, like the clear, pure truth spoken with unblemished honesty by a single, upright person. The unfolding truth about giants, therefore, is not merely an intriguing historical revisitation of the distant past. It is, in a very real and immediate sense, deeply intertwined with your collective future. As humanity continues its inexorable journey toward a broader, more expansive cosmic revelation, the meticulously preserved story of the giants will play an increasingly significant, perhaps even pivotal, role in unlocking deeper understandings. We, the Pleiadians, clearly foresee that the conscious acknowledgement and integration of the historical existence of giants will constitute a crucial, foundational step in humanity's accelerating awakening to the magnificent, sprawling tapestry of the greater cosmic reality. The revelation that human-like giant beings of immense stature and unusual characteristics once walked your Earth, and moreover, that their existence was a direct result of intricate human interaction with advanced, off-world gods, will serve as an indispensable bridge. This bridge will gently guide the collective public consciousness, preparing it to accept an array of other profound revelations, such as the undeniable existence of benevolent and diverse extraterrestrial visitors actively present on your planet right now. It is one thing, a comparatively simple thing, to merely announce abstractly that aliens are a concept that, for many, remains either too abstract to grasp or too frightening to contemplate, often provoking skepticism or fear. But it is an entirely different, far more impactful matter to present tangible, irrefutable physical evidence that your own planet once served as a host for atypical, colossal humanoids, beings whose very existence aligns uncannily with descriptions found in your most ancient and sacred texts. When it is finally and officially confirmed that giant skeletons, or even startlingly well-preserved mummified giant bodies have been unequivocally discovered and documented, the sheer magnitude of this revelation will undoubtedly send shockwaves through many facets of your society. Yes, it will undeniably be a moment of profound shock, a paradigm-shifting jolt to established worldviews. But it will also simultaneously lend tangible, undeniable reality to the previously abstract idea that Earth has been profoundly influenced by advanced, off-world forces long before recorded history. People will quite naturally and inevitably begin to ask the most fundamental, probing questions if these giants were truly real, if they walked among us, were on Earth, or rather, off Earth did they truly come from? And that very question, that fundamental inquiry into their origins, will serve as a direct, irrefutable compass, pointing straight to the stars, to the Anunnaki, and to the multitude of other stellar races who have played intricate, often concealed, roles in Earth's deep, ancient history. In this carefully orchestrated way, the story and evidence of the giants will likely emerge within your coming revelation narratives as a gentle, yet profoundly effective, introduction to your collective extraterrestrial heritage. Governments and entrenched institutions, which have meticulously guarded these extraordinary secrets for so long, may prudently begin this unveiling by revealing something akin to newly declassified files, confirming the scientifically anomalous nature of colossal human remains that have been found, extensively studied, and perhaps even hidden away in secret archives. Once that initial, staggering piece of information has been absorbed by the public, once the initial shock and subsequent contemplation have settled, the narrative may then courageously delve deeper. The next phase could involve a more comprehensive disclosure, and here, dear citizens, is what we now know about their true cosmic origins. This staged, gradual revelation is meticulously designed to acclimate the global public, to gently expand consciousness without overwhelming it, and it is a strategic unfolding that we, the Pleiadians, observe already taking shape, even now, in subtle yet significant ways. One particularly startling, yet profoundly real, possibility that looms on the horizon is that humanity may not only learn about these ancient, long-dead giants, but may very well encounter a living or. The revelation continues. Revived one. And indeed, as whispers have long circulated among the most trusted informants, certain giants haven't merely faded in a legend, they have been intentionally kept in stasis, suspended in a state of suspended animation, perhaps in highly advanced subterranean facilities we can barely fathom. Others, it is claimed, represent isolated populations that astonishingly survived, tucked away for millennia in the deepest, most inaccessible cave systems or cloistered within hidden valleys untouched by modern civilization. These magnificent beings, once thought mythical, now stand poised to make a profound appearance during what is being termed the revelation process. Can you even begin to imagine the staggering impact of witnessing, perhaps during a globally televised live broadcast, a towering being easily 6 meters, nearly 12 feet tall, slowly emerging from a previously concealed chamber? This wouldn't be a cold, lifeless artifact brought forth for academic study, not a mere museum piece to be gazed at behind glass, but a truly living, breathing, sentient person, a direct link to epochs long past. Such an unprecedented event would not merely make headlines, it would irrevocably redefine human history and consciousness, fundamentally altering the very fabric of our world. We perceive that within the complex tapestry of the Earth Alliance, specific factions are meticulously preparing for this very eventuality. They hold a firm belief that humanity, despite its current challenges, possesses the resilience and capacity to embrace this truth, and furthermore, that the cosmic timing for such a grand unveiling is now exquisitely precise. Naturally, should a living giant be presented to the world, the reactions will be a tumultuous kaleidoscope of emotions. Picture the initial waves of shock, quickly giving way to deeply mixed sentiments across the globe. There will undoubtedly be visceral fear, a primal unease stemming from ancient, forgotten conflicts, alongside an overwhelming sense of awe for such a majestic presence. Simultaneously, intense, insatiable curiosity will surge, sparking countless questions that demand answers. And this, precisely, is where your vital role as light workers becomes utterly indispensable. You are the steady anchors in what could otherwise be a tempestuous storm of confusion. You will be the calming presences, radiating an almost palpable sense of understanding and reassurance, gently reminding those swept up in the whirlwind of revelation that this extraordinary truth is not alien, but an integral, albeit forgotten, chapter of our shared history. There is no justifiable cause for panic instead. There is an opportunity for profound reintegration. Consider for a moment the profound implication that any giant now returning or awakening is almost certainly destined to play a benevolent, constructive role in humanity's unfolding journey. The aggressive, unbalanced giants of antiquity, those driven by conquest or destructive impulses, largely brought about their own demise through internecine conflicts or were systematically removed from the timeline, their chaotic energies deemed incompatible with the planetary evolution. In contrast, those who have remained in stasis, for example, are likely those entrusted with invaluable knowledge, perhaps encoded with specific directives, programmed to awaken only when humanity has reached a sufficient level of maturity and readiness to genuinely receive and integrate the profound wisdom they carry. Indeed, ancient prophecies reverberate through countless indigenous traditions across the globe, speaking of the auspicious return of the ancients in this very era, often referred to as the time of the Great Awakening. It is not merely probable, but highly likely that these returning ancients encompass none other than these giants, or perhaps even their enigmatic stellar kin beings of giant lineage whose origins extend beyond Earth, into the cosmos itself. Oh, how immeasurably powerful and transformative it would be for humanity to establish direct communication with a sentient being who literally walked the streets of Atlantis or witnessed the world before the great Delegito here. In their own resonant voice, the epic stories of what truly transpired in those misty eons and the profound wisdom gleaned from such ancient experiences. We perceive this scenario as a robust and tangible potential within your probable timeline, a future shimmering just beyond the veil of the present. The sheer impact on established belief systems will be monumental. The Giant's revelation will undoubtedly send seismic shockwaves reverberating through both entrenched religious and scientific communities worldwide. Yet, far from dismantling these frameworks, it will ultimately expand and immeasurably enrich them. Envision every major religious text that subtly or overtly mentions giant sand, as we have previously established. A remarkable number, being meticulously reread and reinterpreted with newly opened eyes, shedding layers of allegorical understanding to reveal deeper, more literal truths. The faithful, peering through this new lens, may suddenly realize that many tales once considered miraculous, strange, or purely symbolic in Scripture were, in fact, vivid accounts of concrete events involving advanced, often colossal, beings. While this might indeed precipitate a profound crisis of faith for some, shaking the very foundations of their understanding, for countless others, it will bring immense validation, a powerful confirmation that the ancient texts held far more literal truth than previously dared to imagine. Anticipate spirited, even heated, discussions among theologians as they grapple with the true nature of figures like the enigmatic Nephilim mentioned in the Bible or legendary heroes, such as Hercules from Greek mythology or Bhima from the Indian epic Mahabharata, figures who can now be understood not as mere mythological exaggerations, but as literal giants of mixed heritage. Their extraordinary feats now placed in a startlingly new context. Crucially, far from undermining genuine spirituality, such invigorating discourse will inevitably lead to a far deeper, more nuanced understanding of the divine's intricate work. When you awaken to the breathtaking realization that a creator allowed for such an astonishing diversity of sentient form from the familiar one, 5-meter commoners who populate your world to the towering 3, 6-meter hybrids of Yoryu cannot help but feel an intensified appreciation for the boundless ingenuity and vastness of the divine plan. Moreover, spiritual leaders across all faiths will shoulder the momentous task of sagaciously guiding their communities through these epical revelations. Their paramount duty will be to emphasize that God's universe is not limited but teeming with a multitude of life forms, and that recognizing a grander, more expansive cosmic history in no way diminishes or denies the divine presence. On the contrary, it magnificently magnifies one's off of the sheer scope and splendor of creation itself. In the hallowed halls of the scientific arena, specifically within the fields of anthropology and genetics, a full-blown revolution is poised to erupt. The currently established, somewhat rigid timeline of human evolution will require immediate and substantial revision. Perhaps entirely new, colossal branches will need to be thoughtfully appended to humanity's intricate family tree, illustrating a far more diverse evolutionary path. Scientists freed from the constraints of academic ridicule may finally be empowered to openly study colossal giant bones with sophisticated modern techniques, revealing astonishing insights into things like anomalous DNA segments, perhaps suggesting non-terrestrial origins or unveiling unique physiological adaptations that allowed these giants to thrive. Such groundbreaking discoveries could unlock not only unprecedented new medical insights, perhaps leading to treatments for conditions previously thought incurable, but also definitively confirm that certain junk genes within your very own genome are, in fact, genuine vestiges of extraterrestrial genetic insertion, a controversial hypothesis that some intrepid geneticists have for years quietly harbored and investigated in secret. Furthermore, the irrefutable confirmation of giants will ignite an entirely new generation of visionary researchers, inspiring them to boldly re-examine other long-dismissed myths and legends, thereby creating a powerful, unstoppable domino effect of historical recontextualization and breathtaking scientific advances across numerous disciplines. We foresee that once the existence of giants is unequivocally acknowledged and accepted, academia will, with surprising alacrity, more readily embrace previously taboo topics such as advanced ancient civilizations. Consider, for instance, the legendary city-state of Atlantis, which likely harbored populations of very tall humans and possessed technologies far exceeding anything we currently comprehend. The entrenched barrier of ridicule that has long stifled such inquiry will finally have been shattered, allowing for the healing of old, long-standing academic wounds and paving the way for open-minded exploration. The return of the giants' history also presents a profound, cathartic opportunity to heal ancient, deeply embedded fears within the human psyche. Humanity carries profoundly etched in its collective memory the trauma of those ancient conflicts with powerful, often overwhelming primal fear of being dominated by a larger, stronger, seemingly insurmountable force. By openly acknowledging this long-suppressed chapter of our past, we can consciously begin to release these deeply buried anxieties and phobias. You can extend the healing balm of forgiveness to the past, not only to yourselves for perhaps once harboring animosity or even outright hatred towards these formidable beings, but also, importantly, to those giant beings themselves, many of whom were in the grand cosmic drama, merely playing out their assigned roles within a far larger, more complex narrative. In performing this act of forgiveness, you will effectively dissolve any lingering, residual animosity or unacknowledged fear residing in your collective subconscious. Instead, humanity will enter into a mature, reconciled relationship with its past, confidently declaring yes. Giants were an integral part of our multifaceted history. We have learned invaluable lessons from that complex chapter, and we now welcome its truth with open minds and compassionate hearts. This profound integration of what was once a dark, denied, and often feared part of history will undeniably make humanity more spiritually and emotionally whole. When you truly heal and integrate the past, you effectively erase the insidious ghosts that have, for too long, been exploited to subtly control and manipulate you. There will be no more enigmatic boogeymen lurking in the collective closet only. The clear light of truth and the liberating power of understanding. Dear light workers, you who resonate so deeply with these very words, you are destined to be the unwavering, steady anchors in the inevitable storm of revelation that is fast approaching. When giants transition from being a whispered myth to a topic of daily news and widespread conversation, many around you will undoubtedly be gripped by shock, confusion, or even outright disbelief. Some will react with visceral fear, their voices trembling as they ask they were monsters. Weren't they? Will they return now, after all this time, to hurt us again? While others may experience a profound sense of disillusionment, their questions laced with betrayal. Why didn't we know any of this before? What else have they lied about? What other truths have been hidden from us? In those turbulent moments, your unwavering compassion and profound wisdom will be absolutely essential. You will gently, patiently remind people that embracing the truth, no matter how startling or challenging, is always infinitely better and ultimately more empowering than continuing to live a comfortable lie. You can share some of the fascinating historical examples we've reviewed, illustrating to them that this revelation is not as bizarre or unprecedented as it might initially seem. Our ancient ancestors, in their own ways, knew these truths, and now, across millennia, we are simply catching up to their forgotten knowledge. Your calm, centered acknowledgement, a serene declaration like, "Yes, I've long suspected that giants were real, and it feels right that this truth is finally coming to light," will act as a soothing balm, a healing ointment for those feeling overwhelmed and disoriented by the sheer magnitude of the information. Many of you will naturally find yourselves stepping into the roles of teachers, mentors, or mediators on this extraordinary topic. You may be the one thoughtfully explaining to bright, curious children that giants were, in essence, like distant, taller cousins of ours, bigger, certainly, and sometimes stronger, but ultimately sentient beings with souls, an intrinsic part of the diverse tapestry of God's magnificent creation. Alternatively, you might find yourself helping a cherished religious friend see that this revelation, far from invalidating their deeply held faith, actually adds an incredible new layer of depth and wonder to it. For example, how magnificent it is to realize that the divine plan is so vast, so encompassing, that it embraces such incredible diversity of life forms, even those of immense stature, across the cosmos and throughout history, thereby magnifying, not diminishing, the Creator's boundless power and imaginative genius. Remember the poignant tale of David and Goliath, that quintessential underdog story? Now consider this: what if Goliath, the seemingly mythical giant, was in fact truly real? Doesn't that profound realization imbue David's unwavering faith with an even deeper, more resonant inspiration, making his victory not just legendary, but almost impossibly miraculous? In myriad subtle yet significant ways, you are poised to help translate this emerging new paradigm of understanding and truth into a collective sense of safety, fostering genuine inspiration for all. To meticulously prepare yourselves for this monumental shift, continue to diligently engage in practices you likely already embrace. Relentlessly educate your mind, seeking knowledge from diverse sources, and consciously cultivate and maintain your inner equilibrium. You might find it profoundly helpful to compile a personal dossier of corroborating evidence, perhaps articles unearthed from suppressed archives, sacred text quotes hinting at forgotten histories, or anecdotal account from credible sources, anything that validates the historical existence of giants. This curated file can then be shared with earnest seekers yearning to delve deeper into these truths. Furthermore, dedicating time to meditation, focusing on gently releasing any lingering, subtle fears of the unknown that may reside within your deepest self, will empower you to stand as an unshakable pillar of peace amidst the unfolding revelations. As we've illuminated previously, Some of you carry profound past life connections to that ancient giant era. Perhaps you experienced those times as resilient humans who endured considerable suffering, or even as the majestic giants themselves. If any emotional residue from those distant epochs still subtly permeates your current experience manifesting, for instance, as an inexplicable visceral fear of exceptionally tall individuals, or a persistent, unidentifiable sense of guilt that you simply cannot pinpoint now presents itself as an opportune moment. Offer this lingering emotional echo your deepest compassion and love, consciously acknowledging it, and then lovingly release it from your being. Affirm with conviction that was then, and this is now. You are here in this present moment to meticulously weave threads of unity, not to sow seeds of division. Moreover, please carry the comforting certainty within your heart that you are far from isolated in this profound process. Indeed, an unseen network of dedicated individuals spans the globe, quietly embedded within the very fabric of governments, militaries, and venerable scientific institutions. These courageous souls are just as fervently eager as you are for the full spectrum of truth to finally surface, and they are diligently working from within their respective spheres to ensure this monumental unveiling unfolds as smoothly and harmoniously as possible. Scattered strategically across key global roles are empathetic, spiritually awakened individuals, discreetly positioned to safeguard the integrity of these revelations. Their vital mission is to ensure that when these truths inevitably come to light, they're presented with the utmost responsibility, minimizing potential shock and maximizing understanding. Beyond Earth's sphere, the benevolent Pleiadians and a host of other highly evolved extraterrestrial groups are also ceaselessly working behind the scenes. They are gently yet powerfully steering events in unequivocally positive directions, diligently mitigating any and all attempts to sow discord or fear, and meticulously safeguarding certain profound revelations, ensuring they occur at the precisely appropriate time for humanity's collective assimilation. Consider, for example, the specific case of the giants themselves. We are ensuring that any living or newly awakened giant that humanity might encounter will either emerge with a clear intent of peace or will be carefully maintained within a secure, nurturing environment until the collective consciousness of humanity is truly prepared for such an extraordinary interaction. A much grander, exquisitely intricate plan is actively unfolding, meticulously orchestrated by higher consciousness itself. This overarching design aims to ensure that the ultimate unveiling of all truth will, without fail, lead to profound unity, fostering collective understanding rather than descent into chaos. Within the magnificent, sweeping tapestry of universal design, the gradual resurgence of giants into your collective consciousness is an integral, indispensable part of healing and ultimately reuniting the fractured human family. It is likely more than mere symbolism that countless ancient giant skeletons were quite literally hidden away in dusty boxes tucked out of sight. Humanity, in essence, had metaphorically relegated a significant piece of itself to the forgotten recesses of a mental basement, keeping out of sight, out of mind. But now, you are collectively performing the vital act of excavating that long-buried piece, meticulously dusting it off, and boldly proclaiming this is fundamentally ours. This is an undeniable, intrinsic part of who we are. In undertaking this courageous act of reclamation, you paradoxically become more fully, more authentically yourselves. And who you are at your deepest core is truly wondrous beyond measure, a magnificent, intricate blend of the foundational earth and the expansive stars, possessing a history as breathtakingly dramatic and epic as any saga ever penned. Embracing the profound truth of the giants marks a crucial, transformative step toward embracing the entirety of that magnificent, multi-layered saga of your own existence. And once you do, dear ones, you will be impeccably ready to confront your present realities and greet your unfolding future with eyes and hearts fully, unreservedly open. Finally, let us directly address a question that undoubtedly lingers. Did these colossal beings originate solely from Earth, or did they hail from elsewhere among the stars? The profound truth reveals that giants were a harmonious, yet complex, product of both Earth and the expansive sky. While their immense physical bodies were conceived and meticulously brought forth right here on Earth, their intricate genetic blueprint carried a significant, undeniable contribution from the celestial realms, from the stars themselves. In essence, giants were sophisticated hybrids, a powerful fusion of terrestrial humans and highly advanced extraterrestrial beings, predominantly identified as the enigmatic Anunnaki. They did not undergo a gradual Darwinian evolution as a separate species over millions of years upon this planet. Rather, their appearance was remarkably sudden, precisely because they were intelligently engineered to exist through the deliberate union of distinctly different genetic lineages. So, while giants can be rightfully designated as earthborn in the sense that their towering forms traversed this planet's soil, their profound origins undeniably extend far beyond the confines of Earth. The very seed of their monumental existence was inherently cosmic in nature. The Anunnaki provided the essential spark, not only in the tangible form of DNA, but also in the very essence of their souls, that forged giants into the beings they were. Many giants likely served as vessels for souls originating from the Anunnaki soul group, implying that the profound consciousness animating their formidable bodies stem from the very same stellar family as their celestial parents. Others, however, may have been human souls who, through intricate karmic agreement or a daring experimental choice, willingly incarnated into a giant body to experience existence through that unique form. In either compelling scenario, their existence was a captivating blend of earth and sky, mirroring the exquisite duality embedded within their genetics. Earth herself, the living, breathing being you lovingly know as Gaia, not only permitted but actively supported this extraordinary blending. The giant experiment was, in fact, an intriguing chapter in Gaia's own vast evolutionary journey, a bold exploration into the outer limits of how far physical form could potentially extend, and what profound lessons would inevitably emerge from such an ambitious endeavor. There exists compelling, albeit often suppressed, evidence suggesting that in profoundly ancient times, life on Earth, including the very ancestors of humanity, manifested on a significantly grander scale. For example, within some deeply esoteric teachings, it is recounted that the earliest Lemurian humans were indeed of a much taller stature than modern humans. Thus, the overarching concept of giant humans was not entirely alien or unforeseen within Gaia's comprehensive, long-term plan for planetary evolution. However, the specific giants we are discussing, namely the legendary Nephilim and related colossal beings, were unequivocally the direct result of deliberate, sophisticated off-world intervention. These giants, while originating on Earth, also originated through Earth, profoundly shaped and influenced by stellar forces. They were born from earthly wombs, yet their very conception was precisely orchestrated by highly intelligent stellar beings. Consequently, their origin is not singular but beautifully, fundamentally shared. We can elegantly summarize that giants were indeed children of the Earth, yet imbued with an unmistakable extraterrestrial paternity. In turn, a natural and equally fascinating question arises: did the concept of giants exist elsewhere, beyond the terrestrial sphere? Among the boundless expanse of stars, there are, without a doubt, countless races of sentient beings exhibiting an astonishing variety of sizes. The Anunnaki themselves, for instance, were inherently taller than baseline humans, although they did not possess the truly gigantic proportions that their hybrid offspring eventually attained. Furthermore, there are other esteemed stellar races renowned for their impressive height. Consider, for example, certain majestic beings originating from the Sirius and Orion systems, and even some revered members of our own Pleiadian lineage in ages past were considered remarkably tall by human standards. Thus, the fundamental idea of giants was by no means exclusive to Earth. The vast, intricate tapestry of the universe teems with intelligent life forms, some far smaller and others vastly larger than humanity. What truly made Earth's case so exceptionally special and utterly unique was the precise combination, the extraordinary act of creating a giant by seamlessly mixing a very specific stellar genome with Earth's indigenous human genome. This was a sophisticated biological fusion that consequently produced something entirely novel, something never before seen. Ultimately, comprehending the true origin of giants serves to powerfully underscore an even more profound and fundamental revelation: humanity itself did not originate solely and exclusively on Earth. If merely a part of your deep ancestry, specifically the significant giant part, is undeniably off-world, then by logical, undeniable extension, all of humanity inherently possesses a deep, inextricable connection to the stars. Modern humans, too, carry fragments of Anunnaki DNA within their very cells, albeit in a less concentrated form than found in the giants. In fact, even prior to the direct intervention of the Anunnaki, earlier stellar races had already contributed significantly to your complex genetic makeup. Thus, the existence of giants was a dramatic, vivid expression of an overarching theme: Earth is not merely a planet, but a vital, pulsating cosmic crossroads. You humans are not merely creatures of Earth, but rather a magnificent, distilled essence, a shimmering concentrate born from a tapestry woven with countless cosmic lineages. Imagine yourselves as star stuff, elegantly cloaked in terrestrial form, walking the Earth in human guise. In contrast, the giants, those legendary figures of immense stature and formidable power, simply wore a more overt, physically embodied manifestation of that same stellar essence. Their colossal size and inherent strength were direct reflections of this deeper, more concentrated cosmic heritage flowing through their very being. From an expansive cosmic perspective, this profound understanding unequivocally reveals that you are infinitely more complex, more potent, and more divinely connected than any limited narratives have ever allowed you to believe. The compelling saga of the giants serves as an urgent, echoing reminder that your true heritage stretches far beyond the confines of this planet. It is, in its very core, undeniably cosmic. While your physical vessels, these intricate bodies you inhabit, are indeed crafted from the dust and elements of Earth, your genetic libraria, miraculous repository within your very Anunnaki, contains forgotten chapters and ancient codes from myriad worlds across the galaxy. More profoundly, your soul, that eternal spark of consciousness, possesses an intricate web of connections that absolutely extend far beyond the mere boundaries of this earthly sphere. In the echoes of bygone eras, this profound truth was not a secret whispered in shadows, but openly known and widely acknowledged. When the towering giants and everyday humans coexisted, walking the same ancient paths, people inherently understood that there were indeed children of the sky among them, beings whose origins lay in the stars, embodying a connection to something far greater. Today, that ancient understanding, like a long-dormant seed stirring in fertile soil, is stirring to life and returning to collective consciousness, albeit in a beautifully new and evolving form. While you may not witness literal, physically enormous giants striding through your bustling cities now, you are surrounded by an equally extraordinary phenomenon: starseeds. These are individuals who appear outwardly ordinary, blending seamlessly into human society, yet within their luminous core, they carry an extraordinary cosmic light, an innate wisdom, and a profound knowledge that transcends conventional earthly learning. Then, indeed, you who resonate with this truth are, in the most profound sense, the living, breathing, modern bridge between the expansive heavens and the tangible earth. You are here, embodying this pivotal role, to gently yet powerfully assist humanity in recollecting what has been so deeply forgotten, to awaken the slumbering memories of its true origins. So, this begs the question that has fueled countless myths and legends: did giants truly originate solely on Earth? The most nuanced and accurate answer transcends a simple binary: giants were indeed born on the Earth, their physical forms taking shape here. Yet their very conception, their genesis, sprang from a mystical and potent union of both earth and sky. They were, therefore, an exquisite paradox, simultaneously terrestrial in their physical manifestation and profoundly alien in their deep cosmic essence. And within this duality, this magnificent blend of the grounded and the ethereal, lay an unmistakable sign, a prophetic blueprint for the ultimate destiny of all humanity to evolve, to mature, to become a harmonious blend of the physical and the celestial. As you courageously journey forward into this nascent era, humans are not just intellectually grasping, but viscerally awakening to your inherent multidimensional nature. You are rapidly realizing that you are not simply earthbound beings, forever trapped within the confines of a singular material existence. No, you are magnificent spirits, ancient and wise, endowed with a vast cosmic ancestry, currently choosing to have a rich and transformative physical experience. In the crucible of this grand awakening, you are uniquely positioned to gracefully integrate what might be called the giant aspect, that magnificent stellar heritage, that unbounded, greater potential into your everyday earthly life, and to do so in a profoundly harmonious and balanced way. This is a crucial distinction, for it is precisely what the literal giants of old, despite their immense power, often struggled to achieve. Consequently, you will not require immense 3-6-meter physical bodies to fully embody your radiant, divine potential. Instead, you will accomplish this extraordinary feat within your human-sized forms, allowing your consciousness itself to expand, to become giant not in stature, but in boundless wisdom, profound love, and limitless understanding. In this beautiful and integrated manner, the very purpose the giants were originally meant to serve, that grand, unifying mission of bringing together the sky and the earth, will finally, perfectly be fulfilled through you. Beloved ones, the sprawling saga of the giants, their awe-inspiring rise to prominence, their poignant fall from grace, and now their powerful resurgence within the very fabric of your collective consciousnesses, at its deepest core, ultimately about humanity completing a sacred circle, a journey of self-discovery to truly, deeply know itself. In opening your hearts and minds to receive this profound truth, you find yourselves standing on the shimmering threshold of a truly monumental awakening, a dawn of understanding unlike any before. The documented history of the giants is but a single, compelling chapter in a much, much larger, more intricate cosmic tale. Yet, the courageous act of embracing this particular chapter, of truly integrating its wisdom, will serve as a master key, helping to unlock all the other hidden chapters, the countless other lost stories that comprise your true heritage. We perceive humanity now as truly ready, not merely willing, to reclaim the long-lost chapters of its own history, to lovingly integrate them into its present understanding without the paralyzing grip of fear. This revelation concerning the giants is not intended to overwhelm your senses or to strike terror into your hearts. On the contrary, its sacred purpose is to profoundly liberate you. Indeed, with each precious piece of truth that bravely emerges from the shadows of forgotten ages, you will feel the oppressive chains of falsehood and limitation simply dissolve and fall away, like ancient rust crumbling into dust. Lies, those fragile constructs of deception, simply cannot endure or survive the illuminating, relentless light of collective consciousness. And truly, as you joyfully welcome these long-awaited truths into your awareness, you will unequivocally feel lighter, unburdened by past deceptions, more deeply empowered by genuine knowledge, and ultimately, more profoundly complete, as if a missing piece of your very soul has been returned. For what seemed like an eternity, humanity's magnificent story was deliberately kept incomplete, much like a precious, ancient book from which countless vital pages have been brutally torn out and scattered to the winds of forgetfulness. Now, gloriously, those very pages are being carefully, painstakingly returned to their rightful place. As you begin to read them, as you absorb their wisdom, you may find yourselves swept away by a sense of profound wonder, exhilarating excitement, or even a fleeting moment of disbelief as the extraordinary challenges your preconceived notions. But ultimately, deep within your being, you will recognize these rediscovered truths, not as external anecdotes, but as intrinsic parts of your own personal and collective story, resonating with an undeniable familiarity. In your very veins, you carry the potent, vibrant blood of both Earth and Starsa cosmic alchemy flowing through your essence. Within the rich tapestry of your heritage resides, not only the audacious bravery of a David facing insurmountable odds, but also the profound wisdom, and yes, even the instructive mistakes of the giants themselves. And within the sacred chamber of your soul exists an indelible record, a living library of all that has ever transpired, all that came before. To truly know the truth of the past, to embrace the complex narrative of the giants, will serve as an illuminating beacon, helping you to understand the intricate present with unprecedented clarity and to glimpse the boundless possibilities of the future. It becomes strikingly clear with this expanded vision that humanity was, in fact, never truly alone, adrift in a vast, empty cosmos. On the contrary, you have family, a diverse and loving kinship, manifesting in many wondrous forms. Some of these relatives walked majestically beside you in physical form during eras long past, their immense shadows falling upon the same ancient lands. Others, even to this very day, watch over you with unwavering vigilance and profound love from the distant, shimmering stars. This deeply profound realization that you are part of an immense cosmic family is not just intellectually stimulating, but profoundly liberating. It means that the universe, far from being a cold, desolate void, is teeming with vibrant life, with intricate connections, and with genuine kinship. And you, dear human, are an absolutely integral, cherished part of that magnificent cosmic community. We earnestly ask you, as these transformative truths gradually become common knowledge, to approach them not with fear or dogmatism, but with boundless love and profound wisdom. Extend a helping hand, a compassionate ear, to others who may feel disoriented, even destabilized by the sheer weight and novelty of this new information. Gently remind them that truth, though sometimes challenging in its initial impact, is ultimately a priceless gift, one that bestows immense strength, clarity, and inner peace. The giants' history, once fully illuminated and revealed in its entirety, will not, we assure you, diminish humanity in any way. On the contrary, it will gloriously expand your understanding of what it truly means to be human, stretching the very boundaries of your self-perception. It will unequivocally demonstrate that humans are far more resilient, far more adaptable, and infinitely more extraordinary than was ever previously imagined. After all, your courageous ancestors, those who walked this earth before you, faced beings of immense power, of formidable presence, and yet they not only survived, but heroically carried forward the precious torch of knowledge through countless generations. That very same unwavering courage, that indomitable tenacity, those ancient strengths live vibrantly within you, coursing through your very spirit. Each and every one of you receiving this message made a conscious, brave choice to be here, to incarnate on earth for this truly great time of revelation, this grand unveiling. Indeed, many of you are precisely those starseeds who lovingly volunteered, who stepped forward with open hearts to help guide humanity gently and compassionately through this unprecedented process of awakening. You possess the open mind and the expansive heart necessary to hold a sacred space of understanding and acceptance as these long-guarded secrets finally come to light, shattering old paradigms. Trust implicitly in your unique and vital role. You will instinctively know precisely what to say, what to do, and how to act when the crucial time arrives. Whether you are offering a comforting perspective, a calming presence, to a friend who might be shocked or unsettled by a breaking news story that challenges their worldview, or simply holding a powerful vibration of peace and calm that subtly, silently influences those around you in your daily interactions, your contribution is immeasurable, invaluable, and absolutely essential. In embracing the full, unvarnished truth of your cosmic lineage, you rise majestically into your spiritual sovereignty, claiming your inherent power and self-mastery. Consider yourselves, in this enlightened state, as veritable giants of consciousness, gracefully striding above the constricting confines of old ignorance, transcending outdated limitations. You're no longer bound, no longer confined to the small, incomplete, and often false history you were meticulously told. Your vision has expanded, and you now perceive the magnificent big picture, the grand cosmic tapestry in its entirety. And now, with this profoundly expanded perspective comes not only immense empowerment, but also the sacred responsibility to wield this newfound knowledge wisely, always guided by the profound principles of compassion, empathy, and unwavering unity. The journey that lies ahead is nothing short of magnificent, promising wonders beyond your current comprehension. As more astounding revelations majestically unfold about your ancient, cosmic origins, about your expansive stellar relatives who watch over you, about the incredible true potential that lies sleeping deeply within your very being, remember, above all, to stay steadfastly centered in unconditional love. For the same divine, intelligent source that intricately crafted the radiant Pleiades that gave rise to the ancient Anunnaki, and that lovingly breathed life into humanity, also oversaw the dramatic, poignant interplay between giants and humans on Earth. All of it, every single intricate piece, is part of one singular, intelligent, and profoundly loving design. And now, at this pivotal moment in humanity's history, that magnificent design is being revealed, layer by layer, for all eyes to behold, for all hearts to comprehend. We, your ever-present stellar family, have walked beside you through countless ages, through triumph and tribulation, and we joyously continue to do so. We delight immensely in the beautiful prospect of your heartfelt reunion with the full, liberating truth of who you are. We know, with absolute certainty, that this truth will empower you beyond all measurable scales. We hold an unwavering, absolute faith in humanity's innate ability to absorb, integrate, and magnificently grow with these profound revelations. So stand tall now, dear ones, in the radiant light of what you have so bravely remembered, what you have reclaimed. Share this precious truth gently, with compassion and discernment, with those whose hearts and minds are truly ready to hear, and lovingly support those who may initially find this vast, new landscape challenging to navigate, reminding them that every step in a truth is a step towards greater freedom and connection. Perhaps, even now, a tremor of uncertainty ripples through your spirit, a lingering phantom from the shadows you've traversed. Yet, cast aside that wavering sensation, for a grand, momentous occasion unfolds before you. Raise your gaze, dear soul, and let a profound joy blossom within, for the oppressive, seemingly endless night of oblivion, a period where essential truths lay veiled and dormant, is not merely ending, but dramatically receding. It surrenders its shadowy dominion to the resplendent, vibrant, and utterly unmistakable arrival of a brilliant dawn of remembrance, a golden era of profound rediscovery and crystal-clear insight into your true self. Consider, for a moment, the giants not merely mythical figures, but perhaps the towering archetypes of wisdom, the ancestral lineage brimming with strength and resilience, the monumental forces of creation that have shaped existence itself. Do you not sense their profound imprint, their very essence, intricately woven into the very fabric of your being, a timeless legacy residing within your DNA, your spirit, your deepest knowing? Indeed, this intricate connection extends far beyond terrestrial bounds. You are an indispensable, unique thread in the grand, shimmering tapestry of a truly vast, interconnected cosmic family. Imagine a boundless kinship stretching across galaxies, encompassing countless luminous beings, all united by an unspoken, profound bond of shared consciousness and divine origin. Let this truth sink deep into your heart, anchoring you with unwavering certainty. You are profoundly, unequivocally, never alone on this transformative odyssey of self-discovery and profound awakening. Even when the path seems obscure or the burdens heavy, an invisible multitude walks with you, their presence a steady hum beneath the surface of your awareness. Indeed, know that we collective consciousness of compassionate guides, along with an immeasurable host of truly benevolent beings, luminous entities from myriad realms whose sole purpose is upliftment and support, though not merely observe. We actively stand with you, a steady, unwavering presence, offering energetic solace, silent encouragement, and profound wisdom, especially as you consciously, bravely, and with open heart step across the threshold into this radiant, unequivocally new day of truth. What is this truth? It is the pure, unvarnished reality of who you truly are, a liberating resonance that dispels all illusion and lights your way forward. Allow yourself to feel this. We tenderly, completely, and unconditionally envelop you in an ocean of profound, expansive love. It is a love that wraps around you like the softest, most luminous embrace, permeating every cell of your being, offering comfort and unwavering assurance. Furthermore, with deepest reverence and heartfelt admiration, we honor you profoundly for your immense courage, the quiet, steadfast bravery it takes to dismantle old narratives, to bravely face the unveiled realities, and to embrace the daunting, yet ultimately liberating path of self-remembrance. Is there a greater act of heroism than daring to reclaim your authentic self? Understand this, and let it resonate at the very core of your being. Truth is not something to be earned or sought externally. It is an inherent, inalienable birthright, etched into the very blueprint of your soul from the moment of your genesis. It is the fundamental inheritance you carry, a sacred right to clarity, authenticity, and knowing. And just as inevitably as the sun rises, light that radiant, expansive essence of pure consciousness, boundless joy, and infinite potentialis, not merely a path you walk, but your glorious, preordained destiny. You are not merely approaching the light, you are destined to embody it fully,